prepared yet.
You need to try and pick off the units as... Look at the shields on the mark.
Oh my god, the world's gonna take this.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the IGN Pro League Season 2. My name is Total Biscuits, casting alongside the mighty Mr. D. Apollo. Welcome, sir.
Welcome. I'm excited. It's my first time casting here with you.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
IGN Season 2 is going to prove to be a huge success.
No doubt.
And definitely excited to see how this will go.
It's going to be fantastic. Our first matchup will be kicking off on the Terminus 3, and it's going to be a TBT between Drewbie and Tarson, which could prove to be quite the slobber knocker.
Oh, definitely. I mean, these two players, great Terran players, respectively in their region. Who's going to play aggressive? Who's going to play on the defensive side? And I wouldn't be surprised if that aggressive side was on Drewbie.
Yeah, I wouldn't really blame you for thinking that, honestly. Drewbie is a highly aggressive player, as he said before, known for his Drewbie drop, so he's very much a drop player. Tarson, on the other hand, a very resilient player. He tends to be able to hold out against unstoppable odds, and then come in with a viciously timed counter-attack. So that aggressive style could be Drewbie's undoing in this one.
The thing with Drewbie is, though, he hasn't really posted any good results recently. Throughout MLG 2010, and we're looking at like 12th place, then 5th place and 8th in the Nationals, which is really good, but he hasn't really done anything recently. Can this be his time to shine? We'll have to see.
We will certainly find that out very, very shortly. Barracks going now for both, so an initial mirror build, no craziness for the time being. But it wouldn't be uncommon to perhaps see Drewbie go for some kind of double barracks play early on.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see if he sent out an early SCV to build that proxy barracks, but we are seeing Tarson going for refinery early on. And on the other hand, we do look into Drewbie's base. No refinery's been taken yet. This could either be a hidden barracks or it could be that expansion build.
It's a possibility. We've seen this one barracks and no gas into an early expansion build, and this is an expand-friendly map. There's no question about that.
Oh yeah, it's like one of the biggest alongside Taldra Malta. This is a huge map, and unfortunately for Tarson, is going to be scouting in the wrong direction with his SCV, and it's going to take a long time to actually scout what his opponent's doing. And by the time the SCV gets there, Marine's going to be on the ramp. It's going to be very hard to identify what's up.
There's no question about that one. Still no sign of any description from Drewbie for any gas at all, and no second barracks either. The mineral count is starting to get quite high, so it's looking very likely that we're going to see an expansion from him any moment now. And the great thing about this map, Terminus 3, is once you've taken your first expansion, it's really easy to take your second.
Oh yeah, definitely. And the way this map is, there's no rocks on this map, so you can take the third base very easily. Though there is only one gas there, so that will hinder your gas progression, but still a very easy expansion to take. Now we do see that the command center has been put down for Drewbie.
It'll be interesting to see whether or not Tarson is able to take advantage of that. He is going with the one barracks into factory, which is certainly not unheard of for him. He often goes with this particular build, and it's not an aggressive early build, certainly. It does get his tech going fairly early on, though, and Tarson with a couple of Marines guarding this particular pathway, and he'll no doubt look to expand as well in the not-too-distant future.
Yeah, and Tarson has got the factory added on the second refinery immediately after that factory. So he's going to be quite gas intensive. Look at Drewbie here. Still hasn't even taken gas yet, and he's got 4 barracks in production. And will he be starting a 5th one? We don't know, but there's one thing is for sure, there's going to be a lot of Marines out.
There's no real question, and that is a highly aggressive build, and it can also be highly effective against somebody like Tarson. If Tarson is unable to get his defenses up, he's unable to scout that and get that information, which right now all of this scouting information has been denied to him, then an aggressive Marine push could work extremely well. Currently the army sizes are equal on either side, but that's going to rapidly change as this 4th barracks completes.
Yeah, indeed, and Tarson's actually going to be switching up the factory with the starport. I'm going to be going for a Banshee quite fast. And he's not going to quite have enough for Cloak yet, but he might invest in that soon enough. On the other hand, Drewbie, a lot of barracks here, still no gas being added on. He's going to have a lot of scans to help fight against the Banshee, but overall, we're going to have like 50 Marines versus 1 or 2 Banshees.
Yeah, and bear in mind that Cloak, if it does come, is going to be very, very late, considering he's only just got 200 gas. We'll see as to whether or not he goes for it. He's actually not going for it at all, by the looks of it. So that Banshee's not going to last very long against that many Marines. There's already 11 on the field right here for Drewbie, 4 more in production, and he'll be looking to gather a critical mass before his push. And Tarson's lack of scouting information is really hurting him very badly here. He does have a Hellion on the way, which will no doubt be able to eventually scout what he needs to see, but I think this might be a little late.
Yeah, indeed. I think when he does scout, he's going to run into a lot of Marines, which can just basically pick off that Hellion instantly. Drewbie does that on double refinery now already, going for the engineering bay before anything else. It looks like he's going to be going for a very early upgrade here. And how much damage will these Marines do against this Hellion?
It's going to be huge. There's no real question. The Hellion actually dodges out of the way, but that's good scouting information for Tarson right here. We'll have to see what he decides to do. Tarson actually going for a Raven, and the Banshee is moving in to do some damage against Drewbie's base right now. Now, the question is, can Drewbie hold up against this? He needs to get a missile turret up pretty... He's already just cancelled it and then placed another one, but in the meantime, here comes the aggression coming in from Drewbie. And this bunker is not complete right now. That's a lot of firepower. He's charging into the line with as many SCVs as he possibly can, but this is really in favor of Drewbie right now. As you can see, very aggressive push, annihilates all the Marines, and this could force a very early GG.
I mean, he's got a Raven. How's he going to fight against all these Marines? There's nothing he can do. All the SCVs have been pulled off. The Banshee has been pushed away inside the base of Drewbie. And wow, Drewbie looking really good in this first game.
Yeah, this is a very great start for him. It's really what he was looking for. The highly aggressive style of Drewbie working very well against Tarson. And Tarson, that's a free Raven right here. That Banshee, that's not even close. This has got to be a good game. And there you go, GG, ladies and gentlemen. The first game in this best of 3 series going to Drewbie after a highly aggressive 4 barracks opening.
Players take note, need to scout. That's all I can say about that game. Without scouting, that's going to happen to you.
It is messy, folks, and Tarson's trademark defensive style is unfortunately completely lacking in this game. It would have helped him out a lot. The Banshee play was not the best. It was a blind Banshee play. He had no idea what was going on in his opponent's base, and that, I think, is really what hurt him in the long run. And as we can very clearly see, all you need to do in that situation is simply overwhelm your opponent.
Yeah, I think Tarson would have had a lot better success in this game if he was playing up against a standard build, standard 1-1-1 build or something like that. But unfortunately for him, he ran into some 4 barracks actually. Aggression very early on, and by the time he scouted it, Marines were already halfway across the map.
Well, there you go. As I said before, that's the problem with the lack of scouting, and that's what you said as well. And it's, of course, completely right, and we can see in its very essence what happens when you don't scout, folks. We'll be going to Game 2 very shortly. You are watching the IGN Pro League Season 2. Don't go anywhere.